Alexandre Dumas is one of the most popular and prolific authors of 19th century France, and the author of The Count of Monte Cristo. Dumas was born July 24th, 1802, in the small village of Villers-Cottier in France. Dumas' father died when he was but 4 years old, leaving the family with very little money. As such, Dumas' family was not able to afford a proper education. Dumas was not a good student. He received limited education due to his lack of enthusiasm for learning. However, Dumas proved to be a talented writer and trained to be a notary. Alexandre Dumas became one of the most popular and prolific authors of the 19th century. Dumas wrote many plays, historical novels, and romances, one of his most popular and well-known novels being The Three Musketeers. For a time, Dumas worked as a lawyer for the Duc d'Orléans, the future King Louis Philippe. Dumas later tried his hand in theater. Dumas was the son of a French revolutionary general who died when Dumas was still quite young. The death of his father left Dumas' family in dire financial straits. After attending Abbé Grégoire's school for several years, he trained to become a notary to help support his family. Dumas died December 5, 1870, in Puys, France. Dumas' upbringing in revolutionary France and his father's involvement in the French Revolution greatly influenced his work. Several of Dumas' novels, such as The Three Musketeers and The Count of Monte Cristo, are inspired by or based around the French Revolution. The Count of Monte Cristo takes place in 19th century France around the time of the French Revolution. The time and setting of the novel are vital because the Count of Monte Cristo is set so firmly in history. Both the protagonist and antagonist are inspired and motivated by events and facts that are either historically accurate or so well intertwined with history that the fiction of the Count of Monte Cristo appears to be true. The protagonist of the Count of Monte Cristo, Edmond Dantes, is motivated by his overwhelming need to exact revenge upon those who turned against and wronged him in his youth. He is temperamental and quick to act upon his emotions without much rational thought. There are several examples throughout the novel that display Dante's raging emotions and temperamental nature. "I regret now," said he, "having helped you in your late inquiries, or having given you the information I did." "Why so?" inquired Dantes. "Because it has instilled a new passion in your heart, that of vengeance." This exchange occurs between Abbé Faria and Edmond Dantes in chapter 17, after Faria deduces the reasons behind Dantes' unjust imprisonment. Faria immediately regrets revealing the true evil of man to Dantes, because it has completely destroyed Dantes' innocence and instills vengeance in his heart. Another example of this can be found in chapter 111, after Dantes learned of an innocent's death because of his plans for exacting revenge upon his adversaries. He felt he had passed beyond the bounds of vengeance, and that he could no longer say, "God is for and with me." In this quote, Dantes, for the first time, doubts his plans because of this, and because of this, he realizes that he is not suited to bring about retribution without harming innocence. The antagonists of the Count of Monte Cristo, being Fernand Mondego, Baron Danglars, and Gerard de Villefort, are motivated by their insatiable greed and envy. They are ill-natured men who eventually fall victim to Dante's vengeance. "I have been taken by Satan into the highest mountain in the earth, and when there, he said to me, 'Child of earth, what wouldst thou have to make thee adore me?' I replied, 'Listen, I wish to be Providence myself, for I feel that the most beautiful, noblest, most sublime thing in the world is to recompense and punish.'" Dantes, under the guise of the Count of Monte Cristo, makes this admission to Villefort during their reunion in chapter 49. This reveals Monte Cristo's need to exact revenge on the men who wronged him out of greed and envy. There is neither happiness nor misery in the world. There is only comparison of one state with another, nothing more. He who has felt the deepest grief is best able to experience supreme happiness. This quote may be found in chapter 117 in a letter Dantes writes to Maximilian. This details Dantes' opinion on happiness, and how one can never truly know happiness until they experience misery. Dantes is of course speaking from his experience after having his life forcefully taken from him by sinful and corrupt men.